Ladies and gentlemen, if you're over 60, your body is whispering, sometimes even shouting, messages about what it needs and what it can no longer tolerate. The truth is, the foods you once enjoyed without consequence may now be silently sabotaging your energy, your heart, and even your sexual vitality. Today, we are not talking about fad diets or gimmicks. We are diving into something small, often overlooked, yet incredibly powerful: nuts. Yes, those tiny nutritional powerhouses can either support your wellness or quietly work against you, and if you're not careful, the wrong ones can put your health at risk. The 4 worst nuts you should never touch. First, let's uncover the ones that can drag your health down. Candied or sugar-coated nuts. They may taste delightful, but they are drenched in sugar that fuels inflammation, weight gain, and blood sugar spikes. For anyone over 60, that's a direct road to sluggishness and higher disease risk. Salted peanuts themselves aren't terrible, but the heavily salted, roasted versions are a hidden trap. Excess sodium can elevate blood pressure, stress your kidneys, and weaken your cardiovascular system. Flavored snack mix nuts. Think barbecue, honey, mustard, or spicy ranch coatings. These are loaded with artificial additives and unhealthy oils that inflame joints and slow down digestion. Macadamia nuts. In excess, while natural, they are extremely high in fat and calories. Overindulging can sabotage weight management and burden your metabolism when your body needs balance the most. The 4 nuts you must eat now. Here's the empowering part: foods that truly serve you. Almonds, rich in vitamin E, they protect your brain, skin, and heart. Just a small handful can improve circulation and cognitive health. Walnuts, a powerhouse for brain and heart health, packed with omega-3 fatty acids. They also support sexual function by enhancing blood flow. Pistachios. These green gems improve cholesterol levels and contain compounds that boost vascular health, key for energy and endurance. Brazil nuts, just 1 or 2 a day, provides selenium, an essential mineral for thyroid function, immunity, and hormone balance. Why this matters after 60: every choice you make compounds over time. Your circulation, your memory, your stamina, even your intimate health. They all depend on the nutrients you give your body. The right nuts strengthen your foundation, while the wrong ones slowly chip away at it. Call to action. So I challenge you today: clean out your pantry, remove the sugar, coated, the salty, the artificial, and replace them with nature's true gifts. Don't wait until your doctor tells you it's urgent. Take action now. Choose wisely, fuel your body intentionally, and give yourself the vitality you deserve in your 60s, 70s, and beyond. Your health is in your hands, literally, in every handful of nuts you choose. Circulation is the very foundation of sexual performance, and for men over 60, it becomes even more critical to pay attention to. Erections don't just happen by accident. They are a direct result of healthy blood flow moving freely through the arteries and reaching the smallest vessels of the penis. As we age, the arteries naturally begin to stiffen, and conditions like high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and diabetes can make it even harder for blood to travel where it needs to go. This is why so many men notice changes in firmness, endurance, or recovery time as the years pass. The truth is, circulation is not just about avoiding a heart attack or stroke. It's also the key to maintaining vitality, confidence, and intimacy. When blood vessels are healthy and flexible, erections become stronger, more reliable, and more satisfying for both you and your partner. What many men don't realize is that specific nutrients found in certain nuts can directly improve vascular function. Walnuts and pistachios are loaded with compounds like arginine, which is an amino acid that the body converts into nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is the molecule that signals your blood vessels to relax and widen, creating that crucial surge of blood that fills the penis during arousal. Without enough nitric oxide, the vessels stay tight, restricting flow and making it difficult to achieve or maintain an erection. This is the exact same mechanism that pharmaceutical drugs target when treating erectile dysfunction, but nature provides it in a more sustainable and gentle way. By incorporating these nuts regularly, you're giving your body the raw material it needs to keep this process working smoothly. The beauty of this is that the effects extend far beyond the bedroom. When circulation improves, you'll notice better energy throughout the day, quicker recovery after activity, and even sharper brain function. The brain and the penis are both highly dependent on microvascular blood flow, meaning the tiniest arteries and capillaries must remain open and responsive. Poor circulation doesn't just rob you of intimacy, it clouds memory, drains stamina, and leaves you feeling older than you really are. Men often underestimate how closely their sexual health is tied to overall wellness, but the truth is they are inseparable. By focusing on circulation, you're not just improving one aspect of your life, you're strengthening the entire system that keeps you vibrant and capable. It's also important to understand that blood flow isn't just about getting more oxygen and nutrients to tissues. It's about clearing away waste products that build up when circulation is weak. Without healthy flow, toxins linger in the bloodstream, inflammation increases, and the body begins to feel sluggish and unresponsive. This is why erectile issues can often be the very first warning sign of cardiovascular disease. When the small vessels in the penis struggle, it usually means the larger vessels in the heart are already being affected. Eating circulation, boosting foods like walnuts and pistachios isn't just about better sex. It's a protective measure that safeguards your entire cardiovascular system. For men over 60, it's one of the simplest and most effective steps you can take to keep your blood moving freely and your body performing at its peak. Hormones are the invisible force that governs so much of a man's vitality, and after 60, the shifts can feel like they creep in silently yet affect every corner of life. Testosterone, the primary male hormone, begins to dip steadily with age, and while it's a natural part of the process, the consequences are felt in reduced energy, softer muscle tone, slower recovery, and of course, a decline in sexual drive. Many men describe it as though a fire that once burned strongly has dimmed, leaving them with less spark and motivation. What's critical to understand is that testosterone is not only about sex. It influences mood, focus, and the confidence to move through daily challenges with strength. When hormone levels slip too low, men often experience irritability, fatigue, and a subtle but frustrating loss of desire, making them feel disconnected from their younger, more vibrant selves. This is where nutrition, particularly the right kinds of nuts, becomes more than just a dietary choice. It becomes a form of natural hormone therapy. Brazil nuts, for instance, are packed with selenium, a trace mineral that has a profound impact on testosterone production. Selenium works by supporting the health of the testes, where testosterone is made, and by lowering oxidative stress that can interfere with hormone balance. Just 1 or 2 Brazil nuts a day provide enough selenium to meet the body's needs, giving you a simple but powerful way to keep hormone levels from dipping further. Zinc, found in both Brazil nuts and almonds, is another essential mineral that directly fuels testosterone production, ensuring your body has the building blocks it needs to maintain vitality. Without these nutrients, hormone production slows, and the effects ripple out into every part of a man's life. Beyond production, hormones also need proper circulation and binding to do their job effectively, and the fats found in walnuts and pistachios play a critical role in this process. Healthy fats act as the foundation for hormone synthesis, creating the structure for testosterone and other key hormones. Unlike the processed oils and trans fats that clog systems and damage cells, the natural fats from these nuts nourish the endocrine system and support balance. They act like lubricants, keeping the hormonal machinery smooth and efficient. This means that not only do you have the minerals needed for hormone production, but you also have the fats needed to sustain and regulate it properly. When these two elements work together, your body creates an environment that fosters stable, healthy testosterone levels rather than the roller coaster dips that leave you drained. What men often overlook is how deeply hormone health ties into sexual performance. Testosterone influences libido, but it also helps maintain the sensitivity of nerve endings, the firmness of muscle tissue, and the overall stamina required for satisfying intimacy. When hormones are balanced, men experience more frequent desire, better endurance, and stronger recovery between encounters. It's not just about having the drive, it's about having the physical ability to act on that drive without feeling fatigued or unresponsive. When the diet lacks selenium, zinc, and healthy fats, testosterone can plummet, and the result is a frustrating cycle where performance suffers, confidence declines, and intimacy becomes more of a struggle than a joy. For men over 60, eating the right nuts isn't just about nutrition, it's about protecting the hormonal foundation that fuels both their masculinity and their connection to pleasure. When it comes to sexual health, not all nuts are created equal, and some can quietly sabotage the very performance men over 60 are trying to preserve. Salted peanuts, for example, are one of the most common culprits, and while they may taste satisfying, the heavy sodium content raises blood pressure and stiffens the arteries. For a man who already struggles with circulation, this is a direct attack on sexual function, as restricted blood flow makes it harder to achieve firm and lasting erections. The penis is a vascular organ, and anything that interferes with smooth, steady circulation has an immediate impact on performance. Men often underestimate how a simple snack can disrupt their system, but the reality is that every handful of heavily salted or processed nuts works against the very foundation of sexual vitality. The damage isn't always obvious in the short term, but over time it builds into a frustrating decline. Sugar, coated or candied nuts present another danger because they flood the bloodstream with refined sugars that trigger inflammation and disrupt hormonal balance. Elevated blood sugar is one of the fastest ways to lower testosterone, and without adequate testosterone, desire fades, erections weaken, and recovery slows. Sugar also accelerates nerve damage and reduces sensitivity, leaving men less responsive to arousal and stimulation. Many men think of sugar as only a weight issue, but it is also a direct sexual health issue, robbing the body of the balance needed for strong performance. Every glazed almond or caramel-coated peanut may seem harmless, but inside the body it sparks a reaction that chips away at the very systems that make intimacy pleasurable. For someone over 60, where hormone levels are already naturally declining, this added strain only accelerates the loss of drive and stamina. The flavored nuts sold in snack mixes, coated in honey mustard, barbecue seasoning, or spicy ranch, pose an even more insidious threat because they are loaded with artificial oils and additives. These oils are often hydrogenated, creating trans fats that damage blood vessels, harden arteries, and promote systemic inflammation. Inflammation is the silent enemy of erections, stiffening tissues and disrupting the delicate vascular response needed for arousal. Men who snack on these flavored mixes may not realize that the chemicals and oils they are ingesting are directly sabotaging their performance. Instead of providing healthy fats that support hormones, these processed nuts deliver toxic fats that gum up the system and dull the very responses that once felt natural and effortless. Over time, this not only undermines sexual health but also increases the risk of heart disease, making intimacy feel more like a challenge than a natural expression of energy. Even seemingly harmless choices like macadamia nuts can cause trouble when consumed in excess because they are so calorie-dense and high in fat. While natural, their richness makes it easy to overeat, and extra weight around the belly is directly linked to reduced testosterone and increased estrogen in men. This hormonal imbalance saps desire, reduces muscle mass, and adds to fatigue, creating a cycle where intimacy feels less and less achievable. Abdominal fat is metabolically active, meaning it doesn't just sit there, it actively produces hormones that interfere with a man's sexual function. Eating too many calorie-heavy nuts without balance can slowly tip the scales in favor of hormonal disruption and reduced performance. For a man over 60, moderation and smart choices are essential, because every bite either supports vitality or steals from it in ways that are often invisible until the damage has already taken hold. The mind and body are far more connected than most men realize, and nowhere is this more obvious than in sexual health. Erections don't just begin in the body, they begin in the brain with desire, stimulation, and confidence. If the brain is sluggish, unfocused, or clouded by stress, the signals that trigger arousal weaken before they ever reach the body. This is why mental sharpness and emotional stability are essential parts of maintaining a strong and satisfying sex life after 60. Nuts like almonds and walnuts play a surprisingly powerful role here because they are packed with nutrients that protect brain cells, improve memory, and keep the nervous system firing efficiently. A healthy brain creates the clarity, focus, and responsiveness that fuel not just desire, but the ability to act on that desire without hesitation. Almonds are especially rich in vitamin E, a nutrient that shields brain cells from oxidative damage and slows the decline in cognitive function that often comes with age. When the brain is nourished, men experience sharper recall, more confidence in social and intimate settings, and less of the mental fatigue that can dampen desire. Feeling mentally clear allows a man to stay present with his partner, engage fully in the moment, and enjoy intimacy without distraction. On the other hand, when the brain is starved of nutrients and plagued by oxidative stress, the signals it sends to the body become weaker and less reliable. Men may find themselves distracted, unmotivated, or even disconnected during intimacy, not because they lack desire, but because their mind is not sharp enough to fuel the body's response. Supporting the brain with the right foods directly translates into more focused arousal and stronger performance. Walnuts, with their high omega-3 content, act as fuel for both the heart and the brain, creating a bridge between cognitive health and sexual stamina. Omega-3 fatty acids enhance communication between neurons, which is essential for rapid signaling during arousal. They also improve mood by supporting neurotransmitters like dopamine and serotonin, both of which play critical roles in desire and satisfaction. A man with a well-nourished brain not only experiences stronger erections, but also feels more emotionally connected and responsive to his partner. This sense of emotional presence is often overlooked in discussions about sexual health, yet it is one of the most powerful factors in sustaining intimacy later in life. When the brain feels alive and engaged, sex becomes not just a physical act, but a deeply satisfying connection that feeds both partners. The nervous system is also crucial in this equation because arousal depends on the sensitivity of nerve pathways that transmit pleasure. Poor diet, high sugar, and weak circulation can damage these pathways, dulling sensation and making intimacy less rewarding. Nuts rich in antioxidants and healthy fats help protect and restore nerve health, ensuring that signals of touch, excitement, and stimulation are received with full intensity. This is not just about erections, it's about sensitivity, responsiveness, and the ability to fully enjoy every aspect of intimacy. Men who keep their brain and nervous system healthy through diet find that arousal feels more natural, erections are more reliable, and the pleasure they experience is deeper and more fulfilling. The link between the brain and the body is undeniable, and nourishing that connection is one of the most powerful steps a man can take to maintain sexual vitality well into his later years. Why weight and libido are tied together more closely than most men realize, and after 60, this connection becomes even more pronounced. Carrying extra pounds, especially around the midsection, is not just a cosmetic issue, it is a biological disruptor that interferes with testosterone levels, blood circulation, and sexual performance. Belly fat produces estrogen, a hormone that directly lowers testosterone and makes it harder to maintain muscle mass, strength, and desire. Over time, this imbalance leaves men feeling sluggish, less motivated, and less sexually responsive. The physical burden of excess weight also reduces stamina, leaving intimacy feeling like an exhausting chore instead of an energizing experience. Every pound gained increases the strain on the vascular system, making it harder for blood to flow efficiently and fueling the very issues that men over 60 are often trying to reverse. Nuts like macadamias, while natural, are incredibly calorie-dense, and overindulging in them can quickly lead to unwanted weight gain. Their high fat content makes it easy to consume hundreds of extra calories in just a small handful, and for men who are already less active, this creates a cycle of weight gain and hormonal decline. The more fat that accumulates, the more testosterone levels fall and the more estrogen levels rise. This shift weakens desire, blunts energy, and makes achieving or maintaining erections far more difficult. Men often look to medications or supplements when they notice a drop in performance, but the truth is that dietary habits, like eating calorie-heavy nuts without balance, are often the hidden culprits. Avoiding overconsumption while focusing on nutrient-dense options is essential for protecting both weight and sexual vitality. When testosterone drops due to weight gain, the effects go far beyond libido. Low testosterone reduces muscle tone, weakens bone density, and increases fatigue, creating a cascade of challenges that drain confidence and independence. For sexual health, this decline makes intimacy feel more like a struggle than a natural expression of energy and connection. Erections become less firm, recovery takes longer, and the desire to initiate can diminish altogether. Men often find themselves caught in a cycle where low testosterone lowers activity, which increases weight gain, which then lowers testosterone even further. This loop is one of the main reasons so many men over 60 experience a steady decline in both sexual and overall vitality. Choosing lighter nuts like almonds, walnuts, and pistachios provides the nutrients needed for hormone balance without adding excess calories that sabotage progress. Another factor is how weight affects self-image and confidence, both of which are critical in the bedroom. A man who feels heavy, tired, or unhappy with his body is less likely to initiate intimacy and may struggle with performance anxiety. Confidence is deeply tied to testosterone levels, but it is also shaped by how a man feels in his own skin. Eating smart, managing weight, and fueling the body with circulation. Friendly, hormone-supportive foods can create a visible difference not only in physical ability but also in mental readiness. The reduction in belly fat restores testosterone, boosts endurance, and clears the path for stronger, more satisfying intimacy. By paying attention to the balance of calories and nutrients in nuts, men over 60 can break the cycle of weight-related hormone decline and regain the vitality and responsiveness that makes sex feel rewarding again. Consistency is one of the most overlooked aspects of sexual health, and yet it is the very thing that separates temporary improvements from long-term vitality. Many men over 60 look for quick fixes, whether it's a pill, a supplement, or a sudden change in routine, but the truth is, the body thrives on steady, predictable nourishment. Erections, libido, and stamina are not built in a single night. They are the result of daily choices that strengthen the vascular system, balance hormones, and maintain nerve sensitivity. A single handful of the right nuts won't transform performance, but making it a consistent habit creates lasting changes that the body can depend on. Just like exercise or sleep, sexual health responds best to regular support, not sporadic effort, and the difference becomes clear over weeks and months of steady practice. The nutrients in almonds, walnuts, pistachios, and Brazil nuts need time to accumulate and work within the body's systems. Selenium, for instance, doesn't boost testosterone overnight. It gradually optimizes thyroid and hormone function, building a stable foundation that supports desire and performance. Omega-3 fatty acids from walnuts enhance circulation, but they do so by slowly reducing inflammation, improving vessel flexibility, and enhancing blood flow over time. When men commit to eating these nuts consistently, the improvements in energy, mood, and intimacy feel natural and sustainable, not forced. This is the opposite of crash diets or short-term fixes, which often leave the body depleted and frustrated. True sexual vitality after 60 is about laying bricks one by one until the foundation is strong enough to carry you forward. Consistency also creates confidence, which is often just as important as physical readiness. A man who knows he has been fueling his body daily with nutrient-rich foods begins to trust his performance again. This trust reduces anxiety, which is one of the biggest psychological barriers to satisfying intimacy. Performance anxiety thrives on uncertainty. When a man doesn't know if his body will respond the way he wants, worry takes over. But when daily habits reinforce circulation, hormone balance, and nerve health, that uncertainty fades and confidence naturally rises. The knowledge that your body is being cared for consistently removes doubt and allows you to be fully present in the moment. This shift alone can make intimacy more enjoyable and fulfilling for both you and your partner. It's also important to recognize that consistency compounds with age. At 60 and beyond, the body doesn't recover as quickly from poor choices as it once did. A week of indulgence in salty, sugary, or processed snacks can take much longer to undo, and the negative effects on circulation and hormones show up faster. On the other hand, consistent choices in the right direction deliver greater rewards because the body appreciates stability more than ever. Every handful of nutrient-dense nuts becomes part of a larger pattern that builds resilience, keeping the systems of the body running smoothly even as the years advance. By committing to consistency, men create not just better sexual health, but also stronger overall vitality that supports energy, mood, and longevity.